Thematically, that Super Bowl halftime show was full of so much symbolism and such a great sight to see and a great thing to hear. And right now, we want to pay the homage to you guys. Right now, we got the B, right? And we got the B. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in on To The Point with the King. You guys know what to do. Find us Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you are. YouTube, which is hopefully where you're watching us. And go out there, click subscribe. We still got a bunch of giveaways. I got too many giveaways in my room. It's getting ridiculous. Like, I just have to throw it at people now. Okay, so you guys go down there, leave a comment, leave a like, let us know what you think. Thank you for supporting us and our fantastic guests, especially my man right there. Again, another B. Beyond the locker room, my man, the brilliant basketball brain that's out there online. How are you doing today, B?
Hey, I wonder who's that guy you're talking about, but I appreciate the intro, man. I appreciate the intro.
You good? You good?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Okay, good. That's all that matters, man. Life is bigger than basketball, another B, and podcasts, right? But B, I gotta ask you something again, right? I've been online, and I've been seeing things. Okay, and you know me, you know I'm out there, but I've been seeing people speak about you specifically. You ain't the only celebrity that comes on the show. You and Coach Roach.
Okay, that's why I am now. Okay.
Okay, but you out there. They know who you are. People know who you are.
They know who I am. I guess I must be doing something right.
Or something wrong. I don't know. According to them, wrong. But let's get into this. And I want to give you my platform. That's why I reached out to you. So you can speak about this. Now, we all saw what recently just happened with your Toronto Raptors. Okay. Brandon Ingram getting traded here for Kelly O, and I call him Bobby Brown, but it's Bruce Brown. All right. Getting traded for that and a couple picks. But also, before even playing a game, getting a contract extension, right? Do you think, I'll give you two questions here, my friend. Do you think that was a good move for the Toronto Raptors to acquire him, and a good move for the Toronto Raptors to give him an extension?
Okay, for the first part, to acquire him, that's a bit of a loaded question because there's a lot of pieces to this that we're not sure yet how things will make kind of, I guess, fall out. I'll say this: in a vacuum, it's a great deal. In a vacuum, but there's other factors that are involved, and that is where my concern is with this deal. Because I mean, I'm just going for what in this case Masai Ujiri had told us at the beginning of the season. So September 30th, 2024 was the media day. I don't want to get anybody in this case. I want to make sure I'm saying what I'm saying. Coming from the article here, this is sportsnet.ca. Toronto's president of basketball operations, Masai Ujiri, made it apparent at the team's media day on Monday. The Raptors aren't going to be contenders entering this season. Quote, I would use the words, quote, rebuilding. That's the right word, Ujiri said, asked when what adjective defines the Raptors heading into this campaign. Quote, I think we have a clear path now going forward, end quote. I'll repeat that again. I think we have a clear path now going forward, end quote. So I will lead that there to say, do we still have a clear path? Right? That's all I'm asking. Because my biggest thing about this deal is do not jeopardize the draft pick for this year.
Yeah. Well, the
come
draft
too far.
That came back in for the PJ Tucker, right?
No, he's his bags are packed. He's never sitting.
Yeah, but the draft picks that did come in. The draft picks that did.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the draft pick this year. Is the Raptors draft pick this year that right now is a top 5 pick today. I do not want jeopardized. So I don't, to be honest with you, Brandon Ingram can sit up, drink a pina colada, have a beer on me, and sit back for the rest of the year. I do not want to see him for the rest of the season because I don't want anything to jeopardize, because this is where it comes down to now. Because Bobby was very cagey when he had his press conference the other day. He had two of them, one with him and one without him. And both times he's very cagey of when he's going to come back. Because that's the only question I need to know. When he's going to come back. Now, as of today, they said it looks like it won't be February because he's going to get tested or rechecked in 2 weeks. That's a good and bad. And I'll just put that in this case because the schedule determines that. I almost kind of wish he played earlier because the schedule's tougher. Because when you got the Washingtons of the world and the Charlottes of the world, he might be playing. And that might be games we win that might cost us ping pong balls in May. That's where I'm at with that. The contract itself, you got to extend him. If you make that deal, he's a quality talent. There's no two ways about it. As some people have positioned it, I think it's a fair way to position it. Essentially, he's your free agent acquisition. And at $40 million for 3 years, I was concerned about the length of the contract, but 3 years is good. I know that it's a 2-in-1. In other words, he gets the player option for the third year. Probably gonna take it. I doubt, unless he has some crazy 2 years, he balls out like unbelievable, then he's gonna say, you know what, I'm out. But if he plays like how he usually plays, which unfortunately means a few missing games due to injury, he's gonna probably take that third year. At $40 million, that's fine. It's a little higher than I'd like, but I'm not losing sleep over it. The deal's fine. The terms is what I was concerned with. I didn't really want to be paying a Brandon Ingram at 31, 32. That scared me.
My next question, now that the acquisition of Brandon Ingram, right? Okay, I'm just gonna say something right here, based on the Raptors getting Brandon Ingram. That was a steal. I don't know if y'all watched the last video, but Skip said for that price, why not take it? Right?
Right, yeah. That's why I said in the deal in a bubble, it's a great deal. There's no two ways about it. All I'm saying is there's extenuating circumstances. I am still questioning why we were doing it. That's all I'm saying. Because the man's quote said so at the beginning of the year, a clear path. And up to about to be fair, Brian, a month ago, did you have Brandon Ingram on your radar that was like if you had to play your bingo card?
Not even close. Only Coach Roach had it.
Right. Now, Brandon Ingram was always hovering around the periphery. I'm not saying it wasn't a possibility. He was there lurking there. Zach LaVine was out there, and there were some possibilities. And, I'd be bouncing ideas off of there with those guys. And I was like, well, we'll see. But, based on how the team is set up now, I didn't think it was ideal. Now, if you're telling me now that he won't play for the rest of the season, then I'm good with it. It is a free agent acquisition, if that's what we're going to do. But as I said before, my biggest concern is I don't want to see him playing 15 games and it cost us ping pong balls. That's what I don't want to see.
Okay. My rant, before I ask you another question, is with the acquisition of Brandon Ingram, I think what I see from the front office, you mentioned about Masai from that Sportsnet article, right, where you quoted him. I've been harping on this, and I've been saying this multiple times on the show. Y'all go check it out in the archive. While y'all thinking about breakfast, Masai's thinking about dinner tomorrow. Okay? He's thinking about a future. Like you said, a clear path. Right? I think that he sees Brandon Ingram incorporated into the Raptors lineup and into the franchise as something very, another B word, beneficial towards the Raptors, right? But not for now, because it's another B word, building. That's what we're doing within the Raptors organization. Yes. And I've told you all this multiple times. I've seen some of y'all on the street even got mad at me. Some guy got mad at me on the street the other day. Why are the Raptors winning? And I'm like, yo, they're building. What do you want them to do? You can't just get it right away. And now, my question to you is, now, again, with the B theme, this is what we're going with today, ladies and gentlemen, so sue me. But you got Barrett, Barnes, Brandon Ingram. You got a triple BQ.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts when you think about that on the floor playing? Because I'll just say it as a coach, that opens up Barnes' game. That opens up Barrett's game. Brandon can get his own shots, quickly can just hustle, and then you could stick XYZ. Since now we don't have any bigs in Toronto, you can stick somebody down there. We'll still be good. I believe. What do you think, brother?
I think this is why the Ingram deal just kind of perplexes me, because I think he took a situation that already had some. It was a little convoluted, and he made it a little more complex, a little messier. Because when you name off all those guys, everything sounds good on paper, but there's only one ball. And then here's the other part. Exactly. And here's the other part, which I know a lot of folks don't want to hear. But if they get a top 4 draft pick in this draft, based on the drafts that the guys I've been watching all year, those are franchise-changing players. So in other words, all roads lead to that draft pick, right? Keep it a buck. If Cooper Flagg is your first-round draft pick, you can pick any of the other 3 guys, I think, as well, too, the other 3 guys. But let's keep the easiest one. If Cooper Flagg is picked, all due respect to everybody else on this team, the buck stops with him. And I would say that with Dylan Harper. I would say that with Ace Bailey. I would say that with DJ Edgkin. Any of those 4 guys, that's where the future is, to your point. So then you start to ask yourself, well, if that's the future, and you know you have to put that guy in the future because you get the first-round pick overall, the second pick overall, you're putting that guy on the bench on a team that won, 20 games when it's all said and done? Come on now. No, we're not doing this. So then you have to ask yourself, someone got the move. We're playing musical chairs, and this music stopped. Someone's got to come out that starting lineup.
Yep.
So it's either someone making a sacrifice to the bench or someone getting shipped out of town. I'll leave it to the people at home to figure out what you're going to do. So it's like, that's the case, what I'm looking at. And now you have to make sacrifices. This is what comes to building. Who are you prioritizing? Is it worthwhile to prioritize RJ Barrett over Gradey Dick, perhaps? Is it more to prioritize this case here quickly, in this case, over the first-round draft pick? Right? These are the decisions now you put yourself even making more complicated. They're already complicated beforehand. But when you added Ingram to the mix now, everyone drops down one more peg now. So now you have to start looking at it as like, okay, well, someone's got to go because there's just not enough ball for all these guys, right? Like, that's what it comes down to. And floor balance. That's the other thing.
Here's where I got to differ from you on that one. Slightly. Not much. I get what you're saying, right? Here's where I got to differ with you on that one. It's like, now with the acquisition of Brandon Ingram, now when you look at the Raptors bench, you got Boucher, Dick, Mobo, right? You have a pretty solid bench, right? Jacoby Walter, Abaji, right? You got a pretty solid bench for a young team. I'm not saying these guys are elite superstars. Please don't get my words twisted, y'all, right? But you have a decent bench. And then you look at the 905, the pipeline that's coming up. I think that's where the Raptors are building. I don't mind. Okay, look. The part I defer with you on is going down to get the ping pong balls, right? To get something big. Because my perception is that I think the Raptors already have enough on their plate to grow, right? To deal with and to bring in another young talent. Might cause an issue, but it's like you just said, right? Somebody's got to go. I saw that at the beginning of the season. One of the guys got to go.
Okay, so let me pose this to you and the audience. When you start looking outside of Raptor land, and you're looking for a player in this case here, your best player, do you have a talent in this case here that can go up against Giannis in the future?
No.
Do you have a talent? No. Do you have a talent in this case to go up against the 2 J's at this point? No. So even with the roster, with Ingram included, you don't have that type of player yet. So how are you going to get that player?
Maybe you don't need a specific player, but collectively, it's possible. It's possible.
You're asking for a lot. That's all I'm saying. You're asking for a lot. Yeah, because you almost like literally everything has to work out just right.
Yep.
You have to hope that everyone stays fairly healthy. I mean fairly healthy. I'm being kind when I say that. And based on the roster we have here and their history, that's not likely going to be the case. Then you got to hope in this case here, all of a sudden, everybody connects and all of a sudden plays better defense. For most of those players on that roster, with the exclusion of probably, I would say, Barnes, everybody on that roster is a below average defender, and some of them are atrocious as defenders. I don't know how that works into a winning formula. And then the other part, which you mentioned, my friend, you talked about in this case here, the bigs, right? So you have one guy right now that's over 6'10" in this lineup. And he got a hit pointer at the moment. One dude. And he's not even a great rim protector to begin with. So I want to know how all those things combined is going to be all of a sudden be a competitive team. That's why I understand what Raptor fans is like. You all watch basketball. You tell me you watch basketball. And yet you are going, it's like, in this case, you're almost like fighting gravity. It's like, tell me a team in this case here that has a poor defense, no rim protection, no front court help. In this case here, no true number one.
Mike and Vince Carter.
You tell me they're going to be a winning team? Huh?
Mike and Vince Carter can fight gravity. They can fight it.
Yeah, but Vince Carter in this case was on this team. Vince Carter would definitely be the number one option. I don't think we would do. I think we know that. We know that. So let's keep it real. And that would be no one would be questioning any of that.
I got one last question for you before we get out of here, right?
Yeah, man.
Like we were just talking about, like people getting pushed because of the BI coming in, right? Gradey Dick. What are your thoughts on him now being one of the rising stars during the All-Star weekend this weekend? Does that not give you some sort of, don't you feel proud? A little bit of pride?
Grady's my guy. So when the trade happened,
I
knew it was coming. It's like telling me a day of the week has Y in it. I knew it was coming. But Grady's my guy. Grady's my guy. The reason why that trade was peculiar, because he would be one of the guys, including Jacoby, who I also like a lot, is going to get impacted directly from this trade. So, like, that's what I'm saying. When I make this decision, I state, someone's got to go. I mean, some people say, obviously, they'll think RJ. Maybe someone might say quickly, but the other possibility is a guy like Grady's going to the bench as a sixth man. Do I think Grady should be labeled as a sixth man in year 2? No. I would like to see Grady grow to see what he can become. And I hope some moves are made.
Sorry. I can't help myself.
I hope. Please. I was like, Grady, I hope has the opportunity to become the best Grady can be. Because if a guy jumps 7 points from year 1 to year 2, he's averaging 16 a game. I know everyone talked about the defense. Like, guys, he's a year 2, guys. The body's not ready yet. He's going to get bigger and get stronger. And also, too, quite honestly, the coach is putting him out on an island almost every single possession. He gets no help. And so, like, and the rim protection I mentioned before. So even if he gets beat, it ain't like there's, it isn't like in the second coming in this case here, Akeem Olajuwon's back there, swatting away any mistakes he makes. So all I'm saying is let the kid get an opportunity to actually be the best Grady can be. But right now we got a lot of clutter up front. That's my point. I would love Jacoby to get more minutes.
But what I mean about the Dick is, aren't you proud of him? That he actually made it to the Rising Star and got recognized by the American media.
For sure. Oh, man, that was no doubt he was going to be there. Like, he's putting up the numbers. Grady's already had profiles on him already for the first 2 months of the season. Like, Grady was doing historical business from a Raptors perspective and even from a league perspective. Like, Grady's already had, I think Grady's almost had as many 30-point games as Scotty.
Not many. Not as much. Not as much, but
Grady, I think, got 4 of them. I think Scotty's had 6 in his career as a Raptor. Right. If Grady actually got to play the minutes he has, he will probably catch up to him pretty soon. Like, Grady's an explosive offensive player. Like, and I just wish in this case here they would give him the opportunity to do his thing and just let him grow. But we making more moves to make things more complicated. So we'll see where it lands. But I'm concerned about Grady, Jacoby to some extent. Then, I think I like where Shed's at. At least they've made a decision on that. That's great.
Yeah. You know what? Okay. So on that note, since we're getting out of here, I'm just going to finish off by saying, I'm proud to see the Dick become an all-star. I didn't say corn star. Okay, sorry YouTube, right? I'm proud to see that, and I think that's a testament to, like, he was a nobody. Nobody really knew who the hell he was. He was okay, right? He did make waves in college,
Okay.
right?
As the kids like to say,
waves in college, but
I call cap on that, dude.
No, he was.
Are you serious?
A lot of people, like, I didn't know who he was.
Come
he wasn't
on.
even on my radar.
Okay, you didn't know who he was, but believe me, folks knew who he was in this case here. He's the best shooter in college. That's who he was.
Yeah, but it wasn't really on the radar, and he wasn't highly publicized, right? Okay. So kudos to him.
Yeah, kudos to him.
Kudos to you, Gradey. Kudos to the front office. I know people are going to say something, and you might say something, but kudos to the front office for drafting him, right? Because that he basically is a diamond in the rough, right? And I salute him. I salute him. I salute him. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I salute you too, Gradey. I'll just say in this case, Gradey is no kind of like,
he's not a generational player, right?
No, not that. But he's also not a guy down. He's also not down on his luck guy either. He's got credentials. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Gradey Dick has credentials. He's always had credentials.
And Gradey, the city of Toronto respects you and loves you. I'm speaking on behalf of everybody here, except for that person that is not like us. I got to get my jabs in. I'm rocking a B, not an A minor. Anyway, Beyond, my man, do you have anything left to say before we get out of here to anybody real quick before we wrap this up?
I got nothing. I don't know what to say after that. I got nothing.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Well, on behalf of myself, the brilliant basketball mind of Beyond the Locker Room, okay, you guys go find them, right, and stop being belligerent towards them, please. I ask of you.
I'm a big boy.
As a beloved brother of his, okay. Yeah, there's too many B's in the show. Come on, y'all. But on behalf of myself and any of you that watch it, and the greatest producer walking the face of this earth of all time, Arturus, okay, leaving a link for his new YouTube channel, his own personal channel, in the description. Y'all make sure to go check it out. Give him some support. Give him some love. Okay. What else I gotta say? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and